there by their outstanding big court fellow inside. James Winters with the block. He was impending on the defensive side, and Randy Tucker, the guard, number 10, does it the other way. Joliet Central can do it on both ends of the court. They've proved that to their fans all season long. Joliet Catholic had their moments, but there were the Steelmen to come stealing the basketball, like Calvin King's big layup that seemed to put away things early in the first half. Danny McCarthy and staff were not liking what they saw, but then the Hilltoppers started moving the ball around and giving a little bit of a comeback. Darren Freeman along the baseline with the basket gave the Hilltoppers and their fans, for a moment, an opportunity to come back. But once you have that inside threat of James Winters, well, Joliet Central put the final nail on the coffin as he sewed it up with a 21-point win for the Steelmen and their tongue-waving fans. Then Wednesday night, Mike McConnell's Joliet West Tigers started applauding their way after winning the Sika West, and they did it behind point guard Michael Thompson. His steal and the layup all the way gave early indications to the Manuka Indians that this may not be their night earlier in the week. And then down inside, they go to the other players, like number 50, Michael Smith, inside with the basket, and he's getting the ball, and they are sharing the ball with great consistency. That makes for a championship team. Michael Thompson outside goes inside to Tony Marion, the big 6'6" senior, and that sewed up the win against Manuka, a 35-point victory, setting up the anticipated rubber rematch between the Tigers and the Steelmen.
WCTV Channel 15 presents the High School Basketball Game of the Week, sponsored by
live telecast in Joliet's Will County and Continental Cablevision on our High School Basketball Game of the Week, and tonight's game should be a dandy. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Passion, along with Frank Palmasani, who has been, of course, our high school basketball analyst all season long. And what better game to have as our High School Basketball Game of the Week goes live here in Joliet. But a regional championship game, the biggest game of the year thus far for these two teams. Two teams who have already played each other up and up. Joliet West has won the two previous battles between these two. So this game tonight is going to be determined who goes on to the Romeoville sectional. Frank, we've seen both teams go at it. The first time, though, earlier in the year when Joliet West beat Central here at Joliet Central's gym, the Steelmen were without James Winters. Winters had a great game second time around, but the balance of Joliet West overcame the Steelmen's effort just a couple of weeks ago.
Joe, the first game, as you mentioned, was not a good indication at all. James Winters didn't play. Without James Winters, Joliet Central is real limited. Obviously, if you look at the differences of the two clubs, you know that Central needs to have the ball in Winters' hand. He is a scoring threat, a dominating player for them offensively. Whereas in Joliet West's case, they are much more balanced. They're not going to rely as much on one player. So you put down a Winters in one game, it's no indication of the strength of Joliet Central.
Well, when you look at both teams and you begin to make your comparisons of where their strengths are, and historically, this is a great rivalry. Both coaches did not have to talk to their players about the importance of tonight's game. When you talk about the backgrounds, you go back to 1983, when Joliet East High School lost and was closed up after that. Joliet West began dominating the series, leading 12-7. In fact, the Tigers have won 6 of their last 7. The two previous battles this season, Joliet West winning them both, 79-51 and 61-55. Does that matter in this third game?
Well, I think it's really going to be a key from the standpoint of confidence, Joe. Right now, from a confidence standpoint, Joliet West, the coaching staff, the players have to feel very good. They've got to feel very good about the balance they've shown all year and their capability to win tough and big games. They've won a conference championship, but they've got an albatross, and that albatross is they felt they've been good enough in the last 2 years to win a regional, and they haven't. They need this game tonight. They need it because in many cases, these seniors believe it's their year. They're as good a West team as we've seen when they're playing well.
Well, of course, one thing about Joliet Central that people have to remember, despite losing 6 of their last 7 to their crosstown rivals from JT West. Last season in this regional championship game, Joliet Central upset the Tigers, went on to win the Romeoville sectional, and then lost by just 1 point to Brandon Cole and the outstanding team from Bloom High School, who went on to the Elite Eight, the Class AA quarterfinals downstate. But when you look at the two teams and how they've fared in conference battles, well, we talked about the 2 times that Central has lost, but Joliet West won the conference this year with a 9-3 mark on the Sika West, but not until the last week of the season. Everyone talked about what a great balance this conference had. Well, this has got to make both teams more prepared for the importance of this game here tonight.
No question about it. Whenever you're in that situation, Joe, where every game is such a battle and you're always striving for an enhanced goal, when you get to that regional play, you're playing well. You know, we're going to be talking to the coaches about whether their team is peaking, but I guarantee you right now, both teams are playing on all cylinders. You're going to see, if these kids go out and give a hard effort, I think you'll see the best games that each team will have played.
Central, and he will be taking on Michael Thompson. Now, when you look at these two, you're talking about 2 extremely